Welcome to our channel Valuable Coins All World. In this video, I gave you information about United States of America Washington quarter dollar, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please see this full video. Thanks. Top 1. Every once in a while, an ordinary coin turns out to be an extraordinary treasure. A small disc of metal, light in the hand, but heavy with history, mystery, and value. That's exactly the case with the 1974 Roosevelt dime. Most people don't think twice about dimes. We use them for parking meters, vending machines, and spare change. But hidden among these 10-cent pieces could be a dime worth far more than you'd ever imagine. The 1974 Roosevelt dime is a perfect example. At first glance, it looks just like any other. Small, silver-colored, with a smooth edge and a profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. There's a story buried in every curve and detail. This iconic coin was minted in an era of change. The United States was still healing from the Vietnam War, adjusting to a post-Nixon presidency and navigating an uncertain economy. The year 1974 captured a complex moment in American history, and these dimes were there for every second. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, just a year after President Roosevelt passed away. It replaced the Mercury dime and quickly became a symbol of respect and remembrance for a president who had led America through the Great Depression and most of World War II. The obverse of the coin features a dignified portrait of Roosevelt facing left. Above his head are the words Liberty. The date 1974 appears just below the neck, and to the left is the national motto, "In God We Trust." Flip the coin over and you'll find a striking reverse design. A lit torch stands in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. Above the image is the phrase United States of America, and below it reads "1 dime." Although the dime looks like silver, by 1974 it was no longer made of precious metal. After 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. So, your 1974 dime is technically not silver, but its value might surprise you nonetheless. These dimes were minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while Denver pieces are marked with a small D, and San Francisco coins, typically proof coins, bear an S. The most common 1974 dimes came from Philadelphia and Denver. They were struck by the millions, and finding one in your pocket change today isn't too rare. However, not all 1974 dimes are created equal. The real value lies in the details, the condition, the strike quality, the minting process, and sometimes even the tiniest errors. That's where things get really interesting for collectors and treasure hunters. Let's start with condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1974 dime in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially MS 65 or higher, is much more desirable than one that's worn and scratched. But there's more. Some 1974 Roosevelt dimes have been discovered with unusual errors. These include things like off-center strikes, double dies, and missing clad layers. To a casual observer, these imperfections might seem like flaws, but to collectors, they're golden. One of the most sought-after variations is the 1974 double die obverse. In this rare type, you might notice doubling on the lettering, numbers, or even parts of Roosevelt's profile. These errors occur when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly off alignment. Another intriguing variant is the off-center strike, where the design is visibly pushed to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Depending on the degree and clarity, these can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Then there's the missing clad layer error. In these rare cases, part of the coin appears copper-colored because the nickel coating failed to adhere. These mistakes aren't common, and that makes them highly collectible. What makes the 1974 dime even more fascinating is that some were mistakenly struck on silver planchets left over from previous years. While extremely rare, a true silver 1974 dime would be a dream find for any collector. Collectors also look for full torch or full bands details on the reverse. If the horizontal lines on the torch are sharply struck and fully visible, it indicates a strong strike and can boost the coin's value significantly. Over the years, many 1974 Roosevelt dimes in pristine condition or with rare errors have appeared at coin shows, auctions, and private collections. Their values have ranged from modest to absolutely jaw-dropping. These dimes may be small in size, but their worth has proven to be anything but small. It's a reminder to always check your spare change, because what looks like just another coin might be hiding a secret. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, has grown more popular thanks to stories like these. The idea that a coin you carry every day might actually be a rare gem is just too exciting to ignore. Some people start collecting for fun, others as a serious investment, and some simply for the thrill of discovery. Whatever the reason, coins like the 1974 Roosevelt dime continue to spark curiosity and excitement. It's not just about money, it's about time travel. Holding a 1974 dime is like holding a piece of the past. You can imagine the hands it passed through, the items it bought, the stories it witnessed. Every coin has a legacy. The Roosevelt dime carries the legacy of a president, a nation, and a generation of Americans who lived through transformative times. And for one small coin, that legacy has turned into something much, much bigger. All it takes is one coin. One overlooked dime at the bottom of a drawer or in an old jar could be worth a fortune. So before you dismiss those little silver discs, take a closer look. The next treasure could be right in your pocket. In the world of coin collecting, discoveries are still being made. And the 1974 Roosevelt dime continues to surprise experts and collectors with its hidden gems and incredible auction results. That brings us to one incredible story. A perfectly preserved 1974 Roosevelt dime, with a rare error and flawless details, once sold at auction for the unbelievable sum of $145,000. Top 2. What if I told you that the smallest coin in your pocket could be worth more than your car, or even your entire bank account? That's right. Today we're diving deep into the story of the 1980 Roosevelt dime, a coin that may look ordinary but holds surprising value to collectors and coin enthusiasts around the world. At first glance, the Roosevelt dime from 1980 appears to be just another common coin in circulation. It's light, silver in color, and so small that it often slips between couch cushions or disappears at the bottom of a purse. But under the right conditions, it can become a serious treasure. Most people use dimes every day without thinking twice. They're used for bus fares, vending machines, and little purchases that barely register. But what if one of those dimes was a rare gem worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars? The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American coinage since 1946, when it was introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Known for guiding the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II, Roosevelt was also instrumental in founding the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio. The dime's design pays tribute to his legacy. On the obverse side, you'll find a detailed portrait of Roosevelt, facing left, with the word liberty to his left, the motto "In God We Trust" below, and the date 1980 stamped clearly to the right of his neck. On the reverse, the coin features a powerful trio of images: a torch representing liberty, an olive branch for peace, and an oak branch for strength. These symbols are framed by the phrases United States of America and one dime, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum in the center. By 1980, the U.S. Mint had long since stopped using silver in everyday dimes. Instead, these coins were made of a copper core with a nickel coating, giving them their silver appearance but little intrinsic metal value. But sometimes, the real value lies in the rarity, not the material. Millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted in 1980, primarily at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each has its own mint mark, P for Philadelphia, though earlier coins from Philly had no mark, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Philadelphia dimes in 1980 were the first to carry the P mint mark, making them significant for that historical detail alone. It marked a turning point in coin production and is a key identifier for numismatists. But not all dimes from 1980 are equal. While many are common, a small number have features that make them incredibly valuable. We're talking about coins with rare errors, exceptional conditions, or unique strike qualities that set them apart from the rest. One of the most sought-after types of Roosevelt dimes from 1980 is the proof error coin. These are coins that were struck more than once using specially polished dies and planchets, but due to a mistake, may have been released with doubled images, missing elements, or even minting anomalies. Imagine a dime with a double die obverse, where Roosevelt's profile or the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust appear slightly doubled. To an untrained eye, it may look strange, but to a coin collector, that doubling could be worth a small fortune. Another valuable type is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift to one side. Depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, this kind of error can bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars. Then there's the rare missing clad layer error. Since modern dimes are made with a copper core and nickel cladding, a mistake in this process can result in a coin that appears partially copper-colored. These anomalies are eye-catching and highly collectible. Collectors also search for coins with what's known as full bands or full torch designations. On the reverse of the dime, the torch is wrapped with bands near the top and bottom. If those bands are sharply defined and not worn, it signifies a strong strike and significantly increases the coin's value. Condition is another critical factor. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. A Roosevelt dime from 1980 that grades MS 67 or higher can be worth far more than its face value, especially if it's certified by a top grading service. Coin grading takes into account not just the amount of wear, but also the quality of the strike, luster, and overall eye appeal. A perfectly preserved coin with deep, mirror-like fields and frosty devices could bring in big money at auction. Some Roosevelt dimes from 1980 were part of special mint sets or proof sets sold directly to collectors. These coins were never intended for circulation and often feature a much higher quality strike and finish. If they remain in their original packaging, their value only increases. The best part? These valuable coins aren't locked away in museums or elite collections. Many are still out there in the wild, waiting to be found in jars of loose change, old dresser drawers, or inherited coin albums. Stories of everyday people discovering rare and valuable coins in the most unexpected places continue to inspire collectors around the world. It's a hobby that combines history, mystery, and the thrill of a treasure hunt. The Roosevelt dime might be small in size, but its legacy looms large. It's more than just a coin. It's a tribute to a president, a symbol of resilience, and a piece of American history that fits right in the palm of your hand. Numismatics has a way of connecting generations. You could be holding the same type of coin that was used decades ago during milestones of American life, from family vacations in the 80s to newspaper stands on city corners. Collectors find joy not just in the monetary value of these coins, but in their design, story, and the journey they take from mint to pocket. And when one of these coins turns out to be rare or valuable, that joy turns into something truly unforgettable. Even if you're not a full-time collector, it's worth paying attention to your change. Take a second glance before you spend that dime. Look at the date. Check for mint marks. Examine for any unusual characteristics. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. So many coin discoveries happen by chance. A curious eye and a little research can be the only thing standing between you and a massive windfall. And when it comes to the 1980 Roosevelt dime, one specific example stands above the rest. One dazzling specimen of the 1980 Roosevelt dime, struck with an extraordinary error and preserved in near-perfect condition, stunned the coin world when it was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping sum of $100,000. Top 3. Every coin has a story, but some coins tell tales of mystery, rarity, and unexpected fortune. Today, we're turning our spotlight on a tiny treasure that may be sitting unnoticed in your pocket or change jar. The Roosevelt dime from the year 1985. Most people don't pay much attention to dimes. They're small, lightweight, and often overlooked when counted out at the grocery store. But what if one dime, minted in 1985, could change your financial future in the blink of an eye? Coins, especially older ones, have a way of hiding value in plain sight. While many 1985 Roosevelt dimes are worth only face value, certain ones, thanks to rare errors, limited production quirks, and pristine condition, are now worth far more than 10 cents. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His image was chosen for the coin not only to honor his leadership, but also because of his efforts in founding the March of Dimes to combat polio. The obverse of the 1985 dime features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt. It includes inscriptions like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," the year 1985, and the mint mark, which is located just above the date. Small details, but they carry immense importance to collectors. The reverse design is symbolic and powerful. A torch is flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. The phrases "United States of America" and "one dime" frame this design along with "E pluribus unum." In 1985, the Roosevelt dime was minted at two major facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Dimes from Philadelphia carry a P mint mark, while those from Denver bear a D. Each mint produced millions, yet the treasure lies in the few that weren't quite perfect. Now, in coin collecting, perfection is a big deal. A dime that came off the press perfectly centered, sharply struck, and without flaws can fetch impressive prices if graded highly by a professional coin grading service. The highest grades are reserved for coins that show no signs of wear, even under magnification. These coins are labeled mint state, followed by a number, usually from MS 60 to MS 70. The higher the grade, the greater the value, but the real excitement often lies in the errors. One of the most thrilling types of valuable dimes are those with striking mistakes, like off-center strikes, die cracks, or even missing elements of the design caused by minting malfunctions. One of the most famous error types is the double die. This happens when a coin is struck more than once but slightly misaligned, resulting in a doubled image. A 1985 Roosevelt dime with a clear double die error can sell for a substantial premium. Another highly prized error is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet, the blank coin piece, is not properly aligned with the dies. A dramatically off-center 1985 dime is not only visually stunning but highly collectible. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the collar that keeps the shape intact. This makes the coin appear wider than normal and flattens some design elements. These unusual dimes are eye-catching and rare. Missing clad layer errors are another category entirely. These occur when the coin is missing its outer nickel layer, revealing the reddish copper core underneath. Such a 1985 dime looks totally different, and that uniqueness is exactly what collectors crave. That if you're lucky enough to find a proof-like strike on a circulation coin, that too can boost value. These coins have an unusually shiny, mirror-like finish due to fresh dies or unusual minting conditions. They're not supposed to be in circulation, making them scarce. Another factor in a coin's value is whether it comes from a special mint set. Some coins are issued in collector sets and never intended for general circulation. If a 1985 dime remains in such a set and in perfect condition, its value increases dramatically. Let's not forget full torch or full bands. This grading term refers to the detailed, fully visible horizontal bands on the torch in the reverse design. These are a sign of a very sharp, high-quality strike and raise the value significantly. There have been reports of 1985 dimes with die adjustment strikes, coins struck with too little pressure, resulting in weak or ghost-like images. These coins are particularly rare and are often found only by trained eyes or curious collectors. In the wild world of coin collecting, condition, rarity, and curiosity collide. And 1985 dimes with error varieties that are in pristine condition have made headlines before. Some collectors are still on the hunt for the next big discovery. While most people might toss a dime into a fountain or use it for parking meters, collectors see something more. They see history, craftsmanship, and the potential for an unexpected windfall. Don't underestimate the value of pocket change. Every coin has a journey, and along the way, a few escape with special characteristics that make them far more valuable than anyone could imagine. Many families pass down old coins without realizing their worth. Others stumble upon rare coins while sorting through inherited collections, flea market finds, or even rolls of change from the bank. Coin hunting has become a popular hobby, with thousands of enthusiasts constantly inspecting coins for clues of rarity. Online forums, marketplaces, and collector communities share sightings, photos, and auction results that keep the passion alive. Just imagine the excitement of finding an unusual 1985 Roosevelt dime in your change and discovering it's worth a small fortune. It might look worn to someone else, but with the right error or condition, it could be a life-changing discovery. Some coins are worth hundreds, others thousands, but a select few break all expectations. These coins are the crown jewels of everyday currency and serve as thrilling reminders that treasures exist all around us. And what's even more exciting is that these valuable coins often start as nothing more than ordinary circulation pieces. They pass through hundreds of hands before someone finally notices something extraordinary. Yet there's no high barrier to entry here. All you need is curiosity, patience, and a good eye. Collecting doesn't require big investments, just attention to detail and the excitement of a potential find. Coin shows and auctions are great places to learn more. You can see rare examples in person, ask experts questions, and maybe even walk away with a piece of American history. Ultimately, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner just starting out, the world of coins offers endless opportunities to explore, collect, and possibly uncover a forgotten treasure. And now, we come to the reason this particular 1985 Roosevelt dime stands out. Among all the known dimes of that year, one rare and spectacularly preserved specimen, featuring a striking mint error and graded at the highest level, was sold for an astonishing price of $180,000. Top 4. Imagine stumbling across a simple coin in your change jar that's actually a hidden treasure. Today, we're diving into one such potential gem, the 1990 Roosevelt 1 dime. A coin most people overlook every day could secretly be worth a small fortune. Coins have an incredible way of capturing history. And while many associate value with old, shiny gold coins, sometimes it's the unassuming ones that hide their true worth. The Roosevelt dime, though tiny, has stories and secrets that can amaze even veteran collectors. First minted in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. The coin replaced the Mercury dime and has remained in circulation for decades, maintaining the same general design throughout the years. The 1990 Roosevelt dime looks ordinary at first glance. It's just a dime, right? But for those who take the time to examine the details, it's a coin that may reveal rare traits and hidden value. If you know what to look for, on the obverse of the coin, Roosevelt's profile faces left. You'll find the inscriptions "Liberty" and "God We Trust," the date 1990, and a small mint mark indicating where it was struck. These little details are where things start to get exciting. Flip it over, and you'll see the reverse design, a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. This design has stood the test of time, but what truly makes a 1990 dime valuable is far more than just how it looks. Most 1990 dimes were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, marked with a P or a D. The San Francisco Mint also produced proof versions marked with an S. Each of these mints plays a unique role in how collectible the coin becomes today. Philadelphia and Denver minted hundreds of millions of these dimes for everyday use. However, it's often in these massive production runs that rare minting mistakes can slip through, mistakes that now sell for thousands of dollars. In numismatics, errors are gold. Literally, when something goes wrong during minting, and the coin still makes it into circulation, that mistake becomes a collector's dream. 1990 Roosevelt dimes with off-center strikes or misaligned dies are examples of such treasures. There are also double die errors, where the design appears to be doubled due to misalignment during the strike. These are especially sought after because they are easy to see and highly unusual. A 1990 dime with this error? That's a jackpot waiting to happen. Missing clad layer errors are another fascinating anomaly. Dimes are made of layers, copper sandwiched between nickel. When the outer layer is missing on one side, the coin appears reddish or copper-toned and can be worth far more than 10 cents. One of the rarest variations of the 1990 Roosevelt dime involves the proof version from the San Francisco Mint. Normally, these proofs are sold in special collector sets, but some escaped into circulation, and those that did are now incredibly valuable. A key term for collectors is full torch or full bands. This refers to the torch on the reverse side of the coin. If the horizontal lines on the torch are sharply defined and unbroken, the coin receives this distinction and a much higher value. Coin grading is a huge part of determining value. A coin that is nearly perfect is called mint state, with grades ranging from MS 60 to MS 70. An MS 70 is practically flawless and almost impossible to find in circulation. Grading also considers luster, color, strike, and any visible damage. Even if you find a rare error coin, it must be in good condition to fetch top dollar. So storage and handling are crucial for collectors. Another exciting discovery is broad strike errors, where the coin is pressed without the collar that gives it its standard diameter. These dimes appear wider and slightly flatter, and collectors absolutely love their uniqueness. Die cracks and cuds are other error types where the coin may show raised lines or blobs from damaged dies. While these might seem like imperfections, they're actually highly collectible and add character to the coin's story. For decades, collectors have scanned their change, hoping to find an overlooked error or an uncirculated beauty hiding in plain sight. With coin collecting, persistence often pays off big, sometimes even life-changing amounts. Even rolls of dimes from the bank can hold surprises. Some coin hunters buy rolls just to go through them coin by coin. searching for that one rare piece that could turn their hobby into a fortune. Interestingly, not all valuable coins are due to errors. Some dimes gain value simply because they were preserved perfectly. A 1990 Roosevelt dime in flawless condition that has never been touched by bare hands can sell for far more than its face value. Many coin enthusiasts store their coins in airtight containers or special albums to protect them from moisture, air, and oils from the skin. Over decades, this care can mean the difference between a common coin and a prized collectible. Collectors often use magnifying glasses and digital microscopes to inspect their coins. With such small dimensions, it's easy to miss rare features unless you look very closely. Online communities and forums are filled with stories of people who found incredibly rare coins by chance. Whether it's a garage sale, a flea market, or simply change from a vending machine, treasure could be anywhere. You don't need to be a professional to start collecting. All it takes is a bit of curiosity and a willingness to learn. Start with your pocket change. You might already be holding a key piece of history. The market for coins like the 1990 Roosevelt dime has been growing. More people are becoming aware of the value hiding in everyday coins, which means interest and competition is heating up. Auction houses and online marketplaces frequently feature rare Roosevelt dimes. Collectors often bid passionately when a high-grade or error coin comes up, and prices can soar in just minutes. There's a unique thrill in owning a coin that's both common and incredibly rare, common in appearance, rare in variety. That's the paradox of the 1990 dime. You've probably held hundreds in your lifetime. But have you held the right one? Collectors are constantly sharing information about new discoveries. Some 1990 dimes have fetched jaw-dropping prices in private sales simply because someone spotted a unique flaw that no one else noticed. And now, the moment of truth. One such 1990 Roosevelt one dime, featuring a dramatic error and preserved in pristine mint condition, recently sold for an unbelievable amount, $60,000. Yes, a simple 10-cent coin, worth more than most luxury cars, all because of its rarity, beauty, and condition. Top 5. What if I told you that the small, silver-colored coin sitting in your pocket right now could be hiding a big secret? Today, we're talking about a coin that millions of people use without a second thought, the Roosevelt dime, specifically from the year 2018. At first glance, it's just another 10-cent piece. Small, lightweight, and easily forgotten. But this little coin can carry a big story, and for collectors who know what to look for, it might be worth more than just pocket change. The Roosevelt dime has been part of American currency since 1946. Created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, this coin replaced the beloved Mercury dime and has held its place ever since in our change, our coin jars, and our collections. The 2018 Roosevelt dime carries on the same traditional design we've seen for decades. On the front, we see Roosevelt's profile, facing left, with inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, the mint year 2018, and a mint mark identifying where it was struck. On the reverse side, there's the iconic design of a lit torch in the center, symbolizing liberty. On either side of the torch are an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. It's simple, but packed with symbolism that still resonates today. Though the design hasn't changed much, the Roosevelt dime continues to capture attention due to a fascinating world of minting variations, hidden errors, and rare conditions that make specific years, like 2018, unexpectedly valuable. 2018 dimes were struck at 3 major U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while Denver coins are marked with a D and San Francisco coins show an S, usually reserved for proof sets. Most dimes from 2018 were produced in massive quantities. Over 1 billion from Philadelphia and Denver combined. That makes it seem like none of these coins could be special. But that's where the mystery begins. When billions of coins are produced, the chances of something going wrong during the minting process increase. And in numismatics, the study of coins, those mistakes can become very valuable. Collectors are always on the lookout for error coins, and the 2018 Roosevelt dime has produced some exciting examples. These errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, and misaligned dies that can dramatically increase a coin's worth. One especially desirable error is the double die, where a part of the coin's design appears doubled. This can affect the lettering, Roosevelt's features, or even the reverse details. When spotted, it instantly makes the coin rare. Some collectors have also found dimes missing their outer clad layer. This gives the coin a coppery tone instead of its usual silver look. These missing layer errors are eye-catching and often fetch high prices from eager buyers. Another type of error that adds value is the broad strike. This happens when the coin is struck without the collar that shapes it properly. The result is a wider, flatter dime that's clearly different from the rest. And let's not forget proof coins, especially from the San Francisco Mint. These dimes are made with extra care and mirror-like finishes. They're not intended for circulation, but occasionally, a proof coin slips out into the public dot. If you happen to find a 2018 proof Roosevelt dime in your change, especially in pristine condition, it could be worth holding on to. Collectors will pay handsomely for a coin like that if it's been well preserved. Mint sets and coin rolls sold to collectors may also contain hidden gems. Sometimes these sets include coins with minor, yet valuable, minting anomalies that go unnoticed for years until discovered by sharp-eyed hobbyists. The condition of the coin is critical. Even if you find a rare error, the coin's value could drop significantly if it's scratched, dirty, or heavily worn. That's why many collectors use gloves, soft cloths, and airtight cases when handling valuable coins. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the better the condition. A coin graded MS 70, mint state 70, is flawless and can fetch many times more than a lower graded example of the same coin. For a 2018 Roosevelt dime to be highly desirable, collectors are looking for mint state examples, ideally graded MS 66 or higher. Combine that with a rare error, and you've got a jackpot coin on your hands. Coin collecting is a hobby that blends history, art, and a bit of treasure hunting. It's not just about money. It's about discovering something rare and unique in an object most people ignore every day. Hobbyists known as coin roll hunters often buy rolls of dimes from the bank and search through them one by one, hoping to spot that one special coin that makes the hunt worth it. Metal detectors also come in handy. People search beaches, parks, and even their own backyards to find old or rare coins that others have dropped over the years. You never know where a 2018 dime with an error might be hiding. Social media and online forums have made coin collecting more accessible than ever. People share photos of their finds, get advice from experts, and learn about the newest discoveries in real time. Auctions, both online and in person, often feature rare Roosevelt dimes. The buzz around modern coin errors has increased, and some of these newer dimes are fetching prices that rival much older coins. It's an amazing feeling to realize that something as ordinary as a dime might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. All it takes is a little knowledge and a sharp eye to spot something extraordinary. If you're just starting out, begin by checking your pocket change or going through old jars of coins at home. You might find a 2018 Roosevelt dime that looks different, feels different, or just stands out from the rest. Use a magnifying glass or even a coin microscope to look closely at the date, the lettering, and the edges. Any signs of doubling, cracks, or unusual shapes are worth investigating further. Visit your local coin shop or consult a coin grading company if you think you've found something valuable. They can provide professional opinions, grading, and even help you sell it. The story of a valuable coin isn't just about the object itself. It's about the journey of finding it. It's about how an overlooked piece of everyday currency can suddenly become a prized collectible. Every Roosevelt dime tells a story, from the design inspired by a great president to the journey through machines, pockets, and registers. But some dimes carry a story unlike any other, a story of rarity, mystery, and value. So, the next time you get change from a cashier or dig through an old drawer, don't overlook the dimes. One of them might just be your ticket to an incredible discovery. And now for the part you've been waiting for. One 2018 Roosevelt dime, featuring a striking mint error and preserved in perfect mint state condition, was recently sold to a collector for a staggering $16,000. Yes, that small coin could hold a value that's truly unforgettable.